So I've been playing TTRPGs for a decade, more actually now. And one of the things that I've noticed over the years is that it's really, really hard to cultivate a consistent community. Like getting a game running, that's only 4 or 5 people, but getting a consistent and accessible series of games in place is really, really tough for a lot of local game stores because it really falls back on that consistency. And so I started doing little pop-up games here and there, doing team building events, doing birthday parties, because everybody wants to play a tabletop game, but nobody knows where to start. And eventually I got a couple of regular running games, and those got big enough to the point where we had to turn people away. So rather than turning people away, I was like, well, I'll just go mobile and come to you whenever you want to play, wherever you want to play at. So it just kind of has been a natural progression of wanting to play more and more and more and wanting more people to play with. That's the idea. And not even just D&D, we offer a few different systems as well, but the idea is that you can shoot us a message and you say, hey, I've never played before, or I've been playing for 20 years, whatever your range of experience is. You can just say, I want to play, and then we do the rest. All you need is your imagination. That's it. And then I've run games pretty much all over town. A lot of churches, weirdly, a lot of churches want to get into it. Different businesses for team building events, birthday parties. We bring tables, so that's where the name comes from, is like any table will do. And we just pop them up, sit down and start playing. You're playing make-believe. You know, it's what we all do as kids, except with just a couple rules to help us along the way. And getting to watch fully grown adults, you know, or I run, you know, some games for kids like birthday parties and things, but usually it's when you get to see an adult take the accountant hat or the lawyer hat off and pick up a sword and shield in their mind, and they're slaying monsters and going on adventures. You get to see somebody become a kid again. It's awesome. Gaming can be, especially tabletop gaming, can be extremely intimidating. I have yet to actually find a table that will shun you or will make fun of you because you don't know the rules, or will make fun of you because you don't have the coolest mini. Like, I've never encountered that. It's always been very welcoming, and maybe that's because gaming has been a safe place for a lot of communities that have been othered over the last few decades, but it's very rare. I'm not saying it's not out there, but it's very rare to find a table that won't welcome somebody new. So it's just a very accepting atmosphere. I would say, do you have an imagination? You know, can you imagine wielding a sword? Do you enjoy reading comic books, watching movies, TV shows? You know, if you have any personality at all, you can fit right in at any gaming table. It's such a critical part of our development, playing pretend, and that's how kids learn to socialize and become better versions of themselves, is by playing a game and seeing who plays fairly and who don't, or who doesn't. And if we don't have that day to day, that little bit of fantasy, that little bit of pretend time, then everything else just kind of gets really black and white and really gray, and that's where you get extra stressed out, you know. But when you can sit down and maybe do a funny voice or not do a funny voice and roll a die, and this guy tells you that you just tackled a dragon off a building, it makes the 9 to 5 not that bad, you know? I would say if you know nothing about tabletop gaming, you should watch a show called Legends of Vox Machina, which is actually an animated version of a D&D campaign. Start with that rabbit hole. If you like that show, you'll love playing at a table. Like, it just is the best distilled version of that. And then just shoot us a message. If you don't want to play high fantasy dragon slaying, we can hop on a spaceship. You know, you can be a Power Ranger. You can be in a Western. That's the beautiful thing about tabletop games, is that it's all up here. So we can build whatever reality or fantasy we want to play in together.